and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Okay, so now that you have Google Earth installed in your computer, let's go over some of the most important skills that I need you to acquire when using the program. So when you open it, you're going to get this screen here, very similar. Now you're going to get a lot of buttons here on the top. You're going to get a navigation tool here on the right, and probably you're also going to get a tour guide, which is going to be located here at the bottom of your screen. Okay, we are first and foremost, we need to configure this so that I see only what I need to see. And the first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to go to the layers panel, which is right here on your left, and we're only going to click on the ones that we need. Actually, the ones that we need will only be the borders and label and 3D building. The rest probably we can do without, okay? Then the tour guide, you can close it. If you want to close it completely and not have this here, you can also go to the view menu and go to the click on tour guide, and that will disappear from your screen. The view menu here will provide us with a bunch of tools that probably you want to get accustomed to. First, the toolbar, which is this thing here on the top. If you unclick it, then it's going to disappear. If you want it back, just click on view and then toolbar, and you're going to get it back. Then the next option is the sidebar, which is this bar here that I have. If I unclick it, it's gone, and now I have a full screen view of it. If I want it back, then I click it back. What else? I have the full screen, and I have the view size, which could provide me with different sizes. I'm just gonna load this up. What else? Show navigation. Navigation is these compasses here, which provide me a way of navigating through the usage of my screen. If I want to use my keyboard, then I would just click never, and that's going to be gone, okay? So that I don't have as many things on my screen as unneeded. Now, here comes one of the most important ones, which is the grid. This grid will provide you a bunch of vertical and horizontal lines, which provide us with a bunch of numbers. These numbers are called coordinates. These will be very important to us in our class, so please turn on the grid view also. The overview map, probably we don't want it. Scale, legend, we don't need it. The tour guide, which is what I showed you here. When I click on atmosphere, it just makes it brighter, so you might want to leave that on. Sun, probably we don't need it. Historical imagery, no. And water surface, even less. Explore, you can go here to different points of view. And finally, you can make this my start location. But how are we going to work with this? First, I'm going to activate my sidebar so that I can see the layers panel. And if you by mistake unclick it, then the only thing that happens is that it's going to go to the bottom, okay? So no worry. And then you're going to have something that's called places. This is for your favorites. So I'm going to click here. If you want to see more of it, you can just go just above the layers panel and wait for your cursor to turn into these two lines with arrows pointing up and down. Then you click and drag, and then you're going to get a much better view of everything that you have in my places. Right here, I have all the places that I have saved. And this is another one of those very important skills that I need you to get. How does this work? If I just click on Guatemala, automatically it's going to move me to the place in Guatemala that I chose previously in order to have it saved. That's just because I don't want to be moving and searching all the time for places that I have already visited. If I wanted to go to the North Pole, then I would just double click on the North Pole pin, and then it would take me to the North Pole and show me exactly the location that I want. Just like this. Okay, but Sergi, how do you do this? Okay, very simple. Let's do something. First, I'm gonna go to Guatemala, and then I'm gonna look for village school. And I'm going to save a very specific point of view in order to be able to recall it later on. How do we do that? First, on my search bar, which is right here on the upper left corner, then I'm going to click Village School, Guatemala. I'm going to click enter, and automatically it will provide me with some results, and it will start moving towards that result. I know that this is the right one because it's kilometer 25 and a half, Carretera El Salvador, so it's going to take me to the place that I need. Now, little by little, it's going to locate the place. The numbers are going to become even more abundant, and that's not a problem right now. And then I just need to give it some time so that the pixels pick up the imagery from the satellite, and I can see the image. So now that the image has cleared up, here I can see still the grid. Now remember, this is imaginary. These lines are really not here, and I can turn them off very simply by going to View Grid and unclicking it, and the lines are gone. But for the time being, those lines are going to be important to me. The numbers are also important. Now here we can see that Village is on screen. Here on the middle of the screen, I can see the baseball field, the soccer field, and the houses around it. Now, how do I save this place? Let's say that I want to get a little bit closer. So I just use the wheel on my mouse, and I push it forward. Or you can also use the show navigation bar always, and then I can go to this side, I can go closer, I can go farther, I can move from north to east, from north to west, whichever way I want, and that's going to give me a clear picture. Now, so how I'm going to be able to save it? You're going to be able to see a yellow pin bar here on top of the screen, and when you click on it, it's automatically going to give you a pin on screen, and it's going to tell you what name you want to give it. So let's say I want to give it Village School, and then I just click OK. These numbers that are here are also important, but right now I don't need to understand them. So when I click OK, this automatically becomes Village School, and the pin bar will always bring you back here. Now a new pin will be created on your Places bar, and if you unclick it, it just disappears, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go to Guatemala, which is the outside view. That's the view that I chose. And then let's say that I open Google, and then I want to go back to Village, but I don't want to start looking for it again here on the search bar and then finding it again. So I just go to my pin, which I already saved, and I double click it, and automatically the program will take me back to that exact place that I saved earlier. Let's just see the results. And bam, there it is. Village School exactly as I wished it. Now, you can also take a picture of this if you wish to. You never know when you're going to need a picture for any project or location or any type of resource that you're looking for. So this is a very easy way of doing it in Google Earth. You go to File, and then you go to Save, and then you're going to go to Save Image. When you click on Save Image, then it's going to ask you for a name. Write a description for your map and for your so for example, Village School let's say a view from the sky, and then just close it, and that's it. Now when you need to click here where it says Save Image, and then it's gonna ask you for an image name, Village School from Sky. I'm gonna give it, and then I can go to my pictures, find it, and here is the picture that I just took. Okay, so that's an easy way of recording an image file from whatever you have on screen. That's an important tool also. Now, what else? As you can see, I have recorded a bunch of places on my places bar in order to be able to recall. I have places from Italy, which are going to be important, Greece, the first settlers. I have some village recordings also. And just to give you an example of it, for example, village number 3, let's say, that's a different view that I gave it. And what I did was I tilted my view a little bit so that I can see more of the terrain. I still have village here on screen, but I can see the horizon now. And I can get an image of, first of all, buildings here on this side. And I can see the amount of trees that divide the city to us here at village. And probably why we have so much rain here. Now, the best way to accomplish this probably will be by using a mouse. Now, the way that you accomplish this would be just by hitting Control or Option on your keyboard and then dragging your left click mouse. And you can move around whichever way you want. Now, remember, you need to keep the Control key or Option key on a Mac pressed and click the left click of your mouse. Keep it pressed and you're going to be able to move whichever way you want. Now, that's an easy trick. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's say that I want to go to Italy and I'm going to go to the Colosseum view number 1. So, when I double click on it, it's going to take me automatically to that place that I recorded in years past, and I don't have to start looking for the Colosseum. This is part of the neat thing about using pins. Now, when I get there, I'm just going to wait for the screen to clear so that I get a better image. Okay, and once I get a better image, I can see that now 3D buildings are being built on my screen. This is because the program is rendering the buildings, and everything becomes a much better view for me as a spectator. Now, part of the cool things in Google Earth is that I can actually navigate and stand as if I was there. Now, there is a very easy way. There is an orange fellow here on the navigation bar. And if I click and drag it to a street on the map, then it will probably take some time because while it's rendering, it's going to show me these blue lines that you can see on screen now. Now, the blue lines signified where I can stand. That means if I wanted to stand right here, I could not because there is no blue symbol there. I can stand here if I want to because there is a blue. Now, I just let go of the left click and then automatically it's going to take me there as if I was there right now. I can drag with my mouse, look up, look down, to the right, to the left. These are the streets. If you see any of these yellow lines here, that means that you can walk that way. So let's try that now. By using you can use this toolbar here in order to start walking that way, or you can also use the arrows on your keyboard to just walk that way. Now, this is, it's not going to be like a very realistic view, but it's going to give you a nice point of view of how the streets are going. I can again turn around and go back where I came from. Now I cannot see I can only see a small corner of the Colosseum. And now I can see it completely. So there is the Colosseum. How do I get out of this view? Very simple. I just click on exit street view and then I'm out. Then I can go far and start checking other things out. Let's say that I wanted to see what this thing is. Is there any, you can see that it's highlighted when I click it. If it highlights when you click it, then it's going to give you some type of description of the place and some information regarding it. We can also use Google Earth to measure distances. So for example, I want to know the distance or the size of this building here. I can use something that is called the ruler option here on Google Earth. And when I click on it, it's going to give me a bunch of options. I'm just going to drag this window here. First, do you want the measurement in meters? Do you want it in kilometers, inches, feet? Whichever option you want, you can use it. Since we are on this side of the world, then we are going to be using meters. Then we have a set of options that are, for the time being, are not going to be of much importance to us. We're going to stick to the line. Now, the way that this works is, let's say that I want to know how big this is. So I'm going to click from here, and I want to know how far it is to here. And then it's going to tell me it's 174.56 meters. Let's clear that up. Let's go to the second option, which is a path. A path only allows me to just click on several places and find out distances, just in case I want to know how long I'm going to be walking or how far. Then if I from this point here to this point here, it's going to be 615 meters. Okay, that's for the path. Now, this is going to serve us when we're talking about distances from one point to the other. Okay, so let's say that I want to know what's the distance between the Coliseum and this park here. I just click on the ruler option. I go to line because it's going to be only one line, and then I'm going to click from here to here, and it's 1,160 seats. And it's going to be 1,163 meters far from each other. Okay, that's the ruler option. Okay, and for the time being, that's going to be it. This is tutorial number 1 on using and mastering Google Earth. I hope you have a lot of fun on this and that you can visit as many places as possible during this school year.